Whoa. What up? K1K13 squad. This is K1K13 and it is April 30th, the last day of April, right? Last day of April, 1:25 a.m. and this is brought to you by nobody cuz I have no ads yet. Eventually, right? It'd be cool to be like get ads from like if wouldn't it be sick as fuck if I have ads from Medicos? Like if Medicos sponsored me, wouldn't that be badass? I mean, I'm pretty sure like I'd get some haters, but like it's kind of normal. Pussy. But still, that'd be sick, wouldn't it? If Medicos like sponsored me and I became like the face of not face of Medicos, but like an ambassador. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? They ask me for my opinions and shit, and I'll give my opinions, and I'll be like that meme where they throw him out of the mall or they throw him out of the office from the window because I say something that should be done but they won't do it. I'll land on the floor like this and shit. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me fix this. I got a little too excited there. Alright. I'm gonna land on the floor like this and shit. Wasted. I'll be like, bruh. I'm gonna land on the floor like this. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I wasn't even gonna start the podcast like this, but if Medicos would like sponsor me, fuck, that'd be the coolest fucking shit ever. Like if they would like offer me like a week in Japan, all paid expenses. Oh fuck, that'd be awesome. But I don't really think I sponsor them, or I don't really put anything Medicos website links towards my my videos, but that's because most of the videos that I do, the figures are pretty like old. But like the will, oh, that's true. And a lot of the times they're pre-orders, so like by the time I review the figgy or unbox, um, it's like they don't have it on their website anymore, so there's really no point of even linking it. It would just be an archive. That sucks. I hate how Medical does that, man. It really does suck. Okay, so I was gonna do the Q&A from Instagram. Uh, it hasn't been 24 hours yet, but from the looks of it, it doesn't really look I'm gonna get more questions. So I'm just gonna start from what I got. So the first question is, why is Crazy Diamond's bicep backwards? I don't know, man. I just I like I like having backwards biceps. I don't know. Probably you're just trolling. Shout out to Joey Bag of Donuts. Cool guy, cool guy. Worst SAS from Decep Figs. DECPI DECPTI. Oh, there's no I. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Your name is really confusing. So it's DECPT Figs. FIGS. And he asked me, worst SAS. At first, I thought he was talking about the picture I was using, like Josuke Second and Crazy Diamond. And I'm like, bro. But it's because he didn't really use a question mark. So it kind of threw me off, threw me off rails. Just like, damn, dude, all right. Could have just been a little bit nicer. But nah, and then I realized, like, oh, it's actually a question. Worst SAS. Man, you know what? People tend to hate on Polnareff a lot. It's fair, like I feel like that's a fair like choice because his face is terrible, his neck, his chest. Oh jeez, don't get me started. You'll know when I do the review. It's coming out next month. I think like May 15th, around there. I think it's like the middle of the month. But he is really definitely not the best SAS, but honestly, because they give him 3 heads, I think that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna have to say Jotaro. 1.5, second, third, fourth. It's beyond annoying. His head can't tilt that far. I understand he doesn't really need to do that, but he's like the main guy. Like if they just made him with the sculpt of Part 4, there's no way he would be the worst SAS in my opinion. But dude, then his like, well, for me, maybe it's just my figgy, but his pants, like you can switch them out and put like the ones where you could dig his hands into his pockets. My shit comes out so easily. It's the fucking annoyingest shit in the world. It's such a bitch to pose him. Man, in my opinion, he's the worst SAS. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, you don't think Koichi or what's his name? His stands are like bad too?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're bad, but you can't compare them to like a bigger one because they really didn't have much space to work with." And then people will be like, "Oh, but you can compare them to the Goku SH figure arts, the small Goku." And I'm like, "Dude, SH figure arts is like miles ahead, more money, more investments. They have Bandai, they have Tamashi, they have more money to work with. While Medicos, rather a smaller company, they just they, they're not at that level of SH figure arts yet." I don't know, but yeah, Jotaro for me. Let me move to the next question. That was a good question. Thank you. I'm gonna skip this one from now from my homie Paul Serta. Just give me a second because I didn't really think about it too hard while I was looking at the question. Let me see this one. So this is from Joke Sopium. So it's JOKESOPIUM. And he says, "How do you feel about Medicos not re-releasing most of the color variants?" I really don't know what's their game plan. In reality, I could just say Medicos and move on. It doesn't make sense because if they see the price of what Joseph Joestar is going for right now, the anime colors, which is the Wonder Festival, they could release them right now and make fucking bank, bank. That's the reason they're releasing Big Jotaro again instead of going to Big Dio. They just went straight to Big Jotaro, even though they already had a prototype for Big Dio. They should have just. I like your cushion though.
You playing Minecraft. I like your cut, G.
But I mean, they released Gyro second, and that was a re-release, and I think that's the only one they got a re-release. Gyro second. I think that's it. Maybe Jotaro second, maybe. But other than that, they don't release seconds, thirds, or fourths, which is it really doesn't make sense as a company business wise. Because if they released Yoshikage Kira second again, people would buy that shit. You could charge them 7, 8K for that bitch. People would buy it. If you get to 10K as a toy seller, I feel like it depends. Obviously size and all that shit, accessories, that's fine. But I feel like Medicos, SH figure arts, and you do like the normal size figgies, you can never go. 10K is wild. You're insane. That's insanity. I feel like you should stick to um 8K and lower, especially if you have shit accessories, man. Come on. And I know a lot of the SH figures or the DBZ ones don't even come with fucking stands. That's ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. Especially what they cost like 6, 7K. Nah. Cooler from they're releasing him in what, August, September? He better come with the stand, bro. Otherwise, they basically robbed us. 8K for that bitch. And since it's imported or exported from Japan, it's imported from Japan. Exported from Japan. I don't fucking know. And there's no mailing services, so you have to go with DHL and possibly FedEx. That's still 18, $20. It's like $100 for fucking cooler. Oh man, it's so annoying. They recently just did a pre-order for a re-release of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That shit sold out immediately. I didn't even think about ordering it. I wish Nen had it. That way I can, order two and then pay for it later. But I don't think Nen had that shit. So I was kind of like, I was This I was like this to Medicos when I saw, well, not Medicos, SH Figure Arts, when I realized that they didn't have any more pre-orders. Now fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. But let me get to the next question. Yeah, man. Sorry, Medicos just it doesn't make sense. From then you had some troller questions, which I'm just gonna skip. A Tomas asked me, "Are you gonna do a review of Bruno SAS?" And he gave me a compliment saying, "Great videos." Thank you, Tomas. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna do Bruno SAS. I think I'm gonna do the second one just because I like I said in my I think my video or my podcast, I'd rather do um I'd rather do colors ways that people aren't. It's not that easy to grab, or maybe colorways that people don't like. That way, you can look at my video, be like, oh, I have second thoughts about this. I might look into it and get it. Definitely gonna do Bruno, but in reality, if Bruno, this is the announcement. Medicos is releasing once they did the Jolene announcement. I mean Stone Ocean. They announced Bruno third, which is blacked out. Blacked out Bruno. Let me see real quick. Yeah, Bruno version black. So it's not even called third. They just literally called it black. Let me take a sip real quick of my water. Yeah, on when they were doing the show, announcing Stone Ocean, they built up the hype. When they would go on commercials, they would show all the shit that Medicos is planning on releasing in Super Action Statue. And they announced Bruno Black. So he's going to be matching with Giorno and Mr. Purple. I'm so hyped up for Purple Mr. Let's see. And then they announced Cars Nendo, which is wild. I don't think I expected that shit. He looks pretty cute, but not for me. It's a good resale. You should buy two of them and sell the second one for a decent amount of money. And because Stone Ocean was announced, they announced Jolene Nendo, which will be popping up on Good Smile Company. And that's pretty much it. But I will be doing a Bruno to answer your question. And they also announced the Pet Shop and Horror statue pre-orders starting in June, which is insane because I'm definitely gonna grab that hoe. Because if on Mandarake they're at 90K, which is like $900. Fuck that. And that's it. That's all the figures that are announced for this year and pre-orders for this year. So that hopefully you answered your question, Thomas. And Ashton asked me, where do you buy your figures? Which I don't want to be an asshole, but if you listen to my last podcast, I talked about it. But Baiyi, Mandarake, and Zen, and Yahoo Auctions, but Zen and Baiyi are the ones that have the Yahoo Auctions, and Baiyi has Mercari, JP, Japan. And that's it for pretty much the announcements of the Medicos. So I really won't be talking about SAS that much anymore. My podcast, maybe here and there, I'll talk about maybe the videos I just did, some shit like that. So Moody Blues and Abakio will have the new box design. Like I said, I don't think they're gonna go back to the old box designs anymore. That's why. But I was seeing people they're getting their Awakening Dio, and it had the old box design. So this shit is confusing. I don't know. I'm getting Jotaro 1.5 next month. It's kind of crazy because Jotaro 1.5 got released last year again, and he's getting released the year after. I don't understand. But I'll let you guys know if it comes to the new box design. I think I want to do a review of Jotaro. There's nothing much to review since I already did the second. I guess I'll just compare them then, which is not much to compare, to be honest. That's why I always thought like doing a comparison video would be kind of lame. That's why I want to give it a little bit more thought and then maybe do some cool shit with comparison instead. And that should be it for SAS, and that's all the questions. If I end up getting more questions, then I'll answer it on my next podcast. Sorry if you didn't get on here. Good questions though. I appreciate everybody who asked the question, and hopefully in the future I'll do more. But at the moment, that's it for right now. So I was on my way home from work earlier, and I saw a person on this SAS Discord. They were talking about math class, and I was thinking about because I went to college for like a semester, so I dropped out. Whatever. I it's because one of my teachers like failed me. My professors, he failed me because I didn't do too hot on the final. He's like, you have to know the information, or you have to know like everything to pass the class. And like there was like one part of the fucking final, I kind of just went like, I'm not answering the shit because I don't know what the fuck, I don't know how to do it. But other than that, man, I worked my ass hard in that class, man. I was full time at the time, so and he held a grudge on my ass because like one time he was just gonna review, my fucking ignorant ass. Well, I was full time at the time, so I wanted to go home and like rest up before going to work, and I was working third shift, so I was doing 3 classes plus my full time job. So I wanted to go home at like I had night school, so I would go from like 6 to like 9. So I think he started doing like review around like 9 p.m. And I was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna leave, man. Like, I'm thanks for reviewing, but I'm tired, man. I want to go to work. I have to go to work, so I'm just gonna rest up and go to work." I didn't, you know what? I was kind of being an asshole, and I didn't really tell him, so I just kind of like left. I just left the class. I just got up and left, and I didn't really tell him, so I could see why he would hold a grudge, but he always seemed like the type of teacher or professor, or whatever, to hold a grudge on somebody if you did some shit to him. So, because I remember texting him at the end of the semester, I was like, "Why the fuck you failed me?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't know anything. If you want, you could retake the test." And I was full time and I was stressed out hard as fuck. I barely had any sleep. Coming up with excuses not to take that fucking test again. A retake. And I was like, nah, I'm not retaking that shit. I worked my ass off the whole fucking semester to give me an F. I had a B like the whole fucking semester. You can't fail me over a final. He's like, well, you need to know the stuff to pass. And I was like, man, this is some straight bullshit. But anyways, the only reason they like grabbed my attention is because I was this girl put up, I don't know if she's a girl. I don't. This is not genderized, but this person put a problem of like division, and it made me remind me of this math course I took in college, and this teacher. I think we started off that year. I started off that semester. She was cool. I had nothing against her, but I didn't realize it at the time, but I didn't think about it too hard. She didn't teach, and plus, I think there was a chick in there that I kind of like digged, so I wanted to go to class just to see her and talk to her a little bit, corny shit. But she didn't teach. She would assign you the homework. It was a math class on the computer, so you would have to bring your laptop every day. Which you bring your laptop at every fucking course. But she would only like teach if the class had a question. And most of the time, the fucking kids, the students didn't have any questions. So she wouldn't really teach it. And I didn't want to fucking ask her. I wanted to be the only fucking one asking. Come on now. So I ended up realizing that I didn't even need to have to go to class. Because, sorry. The, the final, or not the final, the test would look exactly the same. Not exactly the same. They would change the numbers, the letters, all the equations, but the test looked exactly like. So they had a review. They had a review where you would review everything from the chapters that we try to learn, and that review would pretty much. I wouldn't even do the homework. Holy fuck, I'm such a savage. I wouldn't even do the homework. I would just practice the practice test. I would go hard. Like I would go every Sunday go to the library, be there like 6 hours, just going hard on that math. And if I had time, I would do like the stuff for the other classes. But that's what I would do. I would just go in there and just practice this all day. Learn. And for some reason, well, I liked it because that program that we used, it shows you step by step by step by step by step. Even if it's a minuscule like step, it would teach you, or not teach you, it would show you like each step, even if it's like a small like step. No, actually sometimes it wouldn't even show you step. It would just skip over it. And then I would dive into that little part that it didn't have, and I would try to learn like what happened. How did they go from this step to this step? And I would try to just break it down. Okay, so this number there, this number there. Why did that do? And then that's how what I would teach myself. So I would only, and then eventually I just figured, I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't even waste my gas going to school. I mean, I could just sleep in, work on the homework that we have. Oh fuck! Don't even get me started on that math fucking homework. So the math homework would be, it would be like, so one lesson would be like, just for example, lesson 3.1. So the homework, to pass the homework or to finish it, you would have to get 4 questions in a row right. You mess up, you go. I would get to like the third question. I'm like, all right, bet I'm about to finish this bitch, and then I would. Sorry, I kind of spaced out. That's probably why I fucked up in high college. I would get to the third question, and I would fuck up just one little mistake, minus, negative, plus. You didn't put it right in the fucking the answer little box they give you. If you didn't put it in right in there, they would make you go back to the first question. Oh, Jesus, I would get so fucking pissed. Oh my God, I would get so fucking pissed. And I was, remember, like I said, I was in full time, third shift on, or I was working at this fucking warehouse. So I would get pissed. I'm like, fuck, I'm never gonna finish this shit. In my mind, before I start the homework, I'm like, all right, if I can finish this homework, I can get an hour and a half in, and then I can go back to sleep, rest up for my third shift job. And then come to it, nope. I would always, I would just rage. I would just give up. I'm just like, fuck this. I'm not, what the fuck? This dude be wild. I would just like, fuck that. I'm not even gonna do the fucking test. And then for the quiz, you had to go in. Oh, fuck. For the quiz, there was no practice quiz, so you would have to like for sure know what the fuck you're doing for those lessons. So I would go in that bitch. I think it's like out of 10 points, and I would always get like a C or a B in that. And then my the professor is like, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" And then for my test, I would always get a B and an A. So my shit was getting carried by my test, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm so lucky." So that's pretty much it. I mean, and then I had an English class. Oh, man, I wish I was better at like, because I have a lot of shit in my mind, and then it takes me. I'm so shit at putting it into a paper. Like I can't be cohesive. I'll go into my paper, with the mindset of this, right? Because you have like when you do an essay, you have like a rough draft, your main points, and you elaborate on the main points. And I would do that. I would have a fucking, what do you call it? Not timeline, outline. So I'd have an outline for my fucking essays. And then when I finally come to fucking jot down my fucking essay and have a final draft, oh, bro, that shit was so fucking terrible. I would always go off this would combine with this. My explanation has nothing to do with my reasoning, my fucking thesis. None of my arguments supported my thesis. Oh, I was such a fucking mess. But I'm good at, my teachers would always tell me, you have the right idea and you have good fucking ideas, but you cannot execute them for shit. And me being a little fucking sensitive little fucking, hold on, let me use this. Me being a sensitive pussy. I'd be like, fuck. not even fucking work on it. I would take this constructive criticism and I fucking wouldn't work on it. So I was just like, fuck it. I don't even want to do it. And when it comes to finally turning it in, I wouldn't work on it. I would just turn it in with fucking ideas here, not supporting this, good ideas supporting a different reasons, explanations supporting something else, and none of the fucking essay made sense, and it wasn't cohesive. So that was my problem for English. I could never, and then don't even get me on fucking grammar mistakes. I could never fucking give me a sec. I'm gonna have to fucking pee in like 5 minutes. Grammar mistakes. Oh Jesus! I would have run-on sentences. I would have commas all over the place. Periods at the wrong time. I would never use what's that winky face. We refer it as winky face. Fucking idiots. Let me see. I don't even know. Wow, we consider it winky face. Oh my god. Grammar. Oh Jesus. Grammar. Wow, it's not grammar. Isn't it punctuation? Punctuation. Yeah, it's punctuation. So none of these. Oh, colon? No, semicolon. Oh Jesus, motherfucker's gonna get a colonoscopy. Gross. I wonder if like the doctors tell you, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start the procedure. Try not to be so tense because it's weird for both of us. And you're just like, all right, and you're just like leaning over and you just, oh fuck, are you in yet? I know you motherfuckers heard that fucking saying before, and the girls be trolling and shit. Women, just to fucking, have a little quick laugh while you're all are, doing some mammal instincts. Fuck, I can't even keep a straight face, bro. Yeah. They'll make some joke. Is it in yet? And you being a little sensitive little bitch. Like, yeah, it's in. And then they laugh, and you're just like, what the fuck? She was trolling, and she got your ass. Cause when you're doing little mammal instincts, you're like looking at her the whole time, and she's kind of looking everywhere else. You want to see if you're pleasing her. I'm sorry. Sorry for all the kids listening to this video, but you'll get there one day. Avdol 4K. Come on, man. You can do better than that. Let me give a quick emote. Okay, let me see. What were we talking about? Oh, English, right? Man, I fucking sucked at that shit. I can't believe. I mean, I'm good though. I feel like nowadays I'm pretty goddamn not even. I always lose attention span. My attention span is fucking ass. I'd be like, my mind would be like this first. Bruh. And then my mind would be like this. Pussy. And then I finish with this. Ooh. And then at the night. Let me see. And then at night you'd be like this. What? Why doesn't it play the whole thing? Let me see. Hold up. Is that it? Isn't there like a song to it? Damn, Pornhub really knows how to get fucking attention, huh? They made their whole ass fucking intro song. Oh, don't even get me started on porn, man. We'll leave it for another time. Even though, like, I don't really do that much research on my shit. Like, when I do some, like, marijuana, I'll start deep thinking about shit like that. And that's pretty much how I come up with my ideas for, like, shit. And it kind of makes sense, but I never go. I mean, if I'm really, like, interested in the topic I think about while I'm high, I'll dive into it. I'll go on, like, Google. But even then, like, Google's not, like, you have to go to a trusted source, Okay, so pretty much I really wanted to talk about math, English, and right, that class. Fuck that class. Let me see real quick. There was a website that I found that I wanted to kind of use for my podcast. So let me see. Let me see if I could try to just give me a sec, guys. Please do not leave while I'm in mid sentence. It is rude. If you need a player, I'll play as long as the games are at the same time. Oh yeah, you fucking cunt. I need you dedicated, son. Motherfuckers be fucking with me, bro. They be playing with my heart essay. Alright, I sent it to me. Now I just gotta sign into Facebook on here. No, that's not the password. Okay. Now you know how many characters. No, actually you don't. What the fuck? I can't believe Facebook gives you friend suggestions. Like, that's fucking retarded. Bro. I'll leave Facebook for another topic. Seriously, I have some not good opinions. I have opinions, like really thought out opinions on like certain shit. So this is why I wouldn't really want to elaborate right now because I'll probably go on and off. Anyways, let me go to that link. Okay, everything's working out. There you go. So I found this article that I wanted to say, and I don't know, it's pretty random, I guess, but top 10 most common reasons why people use drugs. You have a loved one out there that are, doing drugs at a not a good rate. Drugs aren't really bad for you. They just have to be, used at a, decent way to the point where you don't, lose your mind. But this is the top 10. So it's just pretty much this website. Like, I'll probably maybe list it in the description if I don't forget. Because, like I said, I have a stupid ass attention span and I'll fucking forget stupid shit. But, so there's like points, like sub headlines in the article. And then they have like the opinions or whatever. Or, factual shit. If there's factual shit, I'll say it. But if it's like their own opinion on like the article, the person who wrote the article, then I won't say it because I'd rather just say my opinion. But here we go. First reason is people use drugs because of genetics or family history. That makes sense. So I guess it says, so this is not really an opinion, it's just a fact. If you have a predisposing factor in developing an addiction, if your family have an history of drug addiction, about 40 to 60% of the risk for developing alcohol use disorder can be due to genes, while 60% to 80% for nicotine, cocaine, and other substances. Genes, how? I'm thinking like how though? Like if you're just like what if your father was an alcoholic so after you were born? That's fucked. That's fucked. But okay, so supposedly like okay, so he's fine, right? And he's banging your mom with healthy genes. Or his genetics would just be from the beginning, right? So if his father is an alcoholic, fuck. See, for me, I'm thinking like, okay, so if he becomes an alcoholic after you're born, his sperm cells aren't gonna have like that addiction yet, right? Because the sperm cells is just made up of the shit that he's, excreting, whatever. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, is it like if you're a kid and you see your dad like constantly fucking drinking, is that genes? That's not genes for me though. That's just like, all right, I'm looking at him and I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna do that too because he looks fine while he does it. Yeah, I don't know. This is not really a trusted source either, so I don't know. I don't know if it could be genes though. It can and can't be genes at the same time. It can, but experimenting is the second reason. Yeah, I don't know though, because I used to have this job, and a lot the people I work. Okay, so I'm from a suburb, right? Or I don't know if you consider this a suburb. Let me check real quick. Yeah, yeah. Supposedly it's a city, I guess. Okay, so we're not really a city. I mean, we're not a suburb. I don't fucking know what's considered a suburb. I never really did like research on that shit. But here, my point is that like for the most part, yeah, like you see your friends doing drugs, or I don't even know what you consider drugs nowadays. Because then people be like, weed is a plant, it really is, but there's a lot of shit in that plant. Okay, so like if you see your friend doing like beer, right? Beer is alcohol in general is pretty common, right? If you see your friend doing liquor, you're like, okay. See, yeah, liquor in general, like people love and hate it. They hate it because you can go driving, possibly potentially crash into somebody who doesn't deserve that. You could possibly kill somebody. You could possibly be alcoholic, fuck up, where you hit your kids, you hit your family, shit like that. And then weed, it's like fine. Most people are pretty chill when they're high. But then you go into like the deeper drugs, like LSD, shrooms, even the deeper drugs, meth, cocaine, crack, heroin, and that shit. For the most part, people don't want to experiment with that shit. And if they do, it's highly risky because a lot of the times you get it from the street heads. And I don't know, the drug war is insane. I have really mixed. I'm on the fence about drug war. I know Portugal legalized all the drugs, so you can literally like do heroin. I don't know. I have never done research on it, but for the most part, I know. Damn, this is gonna be a long ass podcast. Fuck. Okay. For the most part, I know like Portugal legalized drugs. Whether they can just get it from a store or not, I don't know. Sorry. Jesus, a lot of talking. So, but how was that? Anyways, I know people who grew up in like the city part of my state, and they only do like alcohol and weed, and then they think like LSD, shrooms will like fry your brain. Like I asked a lot of them in that like job I worked at, and a lot of them like, no, hell no, I would never do LSD. That shit will fry your brain. So that's why I'm like thinking like, is it really experimenting? But it's because this article starts from 1 to 10, so it starts off like the first reading, or maybe there's not like an order. I don't fucking know. Third reason, loneliness. Man, that's crazy though. I guess it kind of is, right? Like if you're feeling lonely, you'll turn to like a drug to make you feel better, which in reality, is that really so bad? If you don't want to feel lonely anymore, but I mean, it just depends because if you use it and you don't, while you're on the drug, you don't use it to your advantage and try to grasp what you think about and what could help you possibly work on not being lonely. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not antisocial, but I'm not social either. I have a balance. If I feel the vibe, I'll vibe with you, but if I don't, I won't vibe with you. So loneliness, yeah, yeah, can lead to addiction. Most common reasons: prescription drugs. Oh God, prescription drugs are so fucked up. It's fucked because people will think prescription drugs will like fix you, and in reality, it does, but it doesn't if you keep eating that nasty shit. So people assume like, oh, I'm gonna take these diabetes pills. I'm gonna take this lower my blood sugar pills, but then they'll still eat like shit. They'll eat McDonald's. They'll eat those foods that have high preservatives that aren't good for you. They'll eat foods that don't have no nutritious value. And recently, I've been eating shit like that has nutrition value. When you go to the store, you got to look at the ingredient shit. All those chemicals are really bad for you. I recently just listened to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith that said that like cookies used to be stale, like hard, and now they came up with a chemical they put in cookies, or just any type of dessert that keeps the I think it's in the trans fats. It keeps the desserts from not going stale. So it keeps it, soft and all that shit. And all that shit's like a new chemical they put into the fucking, junk food. To, make pretty much get you like, god damn it, get you like addicted to that type of shit. Which in reality is really bad for you. I mean, it's just like McDonald's and Burger King. They put chemicals in that shit to make you addicted to that type of shit. Especially if your kids or your family or your parents start you from a young age and feed you that shit as a kid. You're more than likely you're gonna develop an addiction for it. You'll eat that bitch like 5 times a month, and that shit's really bad for you because if it sits in your stomach, it's just accumulating. Especially if you don't excrete it out, it's just accumulating, and all those chemicals just start piling up inside your colon, and this shit leads to future problems if you don't start flushing that bitch out. You gotta eat at least healthy, like 11 months out of the year. You can't have that shit in your stomach. Peer pressure is the fifth reason. Yeah, it really is peer pressure. You see your friends doing it, you're just like, all right, I want to do it too. And then your friends won't shut the fuck up about it, do it. I have good friends, and I peer pressure them, but like it's all, damn, I've seen like an asshole, but I peer pressure them because I in general I really don't want to drink alone, and I don't want to get drunk by myself because everybody else is normal. That sounds fucking lame. So yeah, I guess peer pressure is the reason why people do that. Recreation makes sense. You go to a party, you go to a club, everybody's drinking, having a good time. You're like, oh yeah, I want to have a good time. Then boom, everybody drinks. Mental disorder. What was this again? Why people use drugs? Okay, mental disorder makes sense. But a mental disorder goes a long way. It's a pretty broad statement they use there. Because like depression is pretty much a mental disorder. So it's fucked, man. To make you feel good. Yeah. That makes sense, You I mean, it kind of makes sense nowadays how the poor are just getting poorer, the rich just get more rich. So a lot of people will work, 40 hours, 50 hours a week in a low end job and come back from their job and smoke some weed, maybe smoke some crack, smoke some not smoke, sniff some crack, cocaine, make them feel better, some heroin. I mean, it's really a shit. I guess not shit. Man, it's such a like generalizing bullshit like this, but it's not the best escape, but it's an escape from reality, so that's why people do it. So it is not enough. People use drugs because it is not enough. I don't know what he means. Let me see. The effect of alcohol may change over time, especially when a body gets used to it. The feeling when individuals were able to achieve a few drinks before might not work anymore. Make them drink more. This unfortunately could leave them powerless and unable to stop drinking. Self-medication. Oh shit, they got a picture of a nigga stabbing himself with a needle. Oh fuck, he's getting vaccinated. That's the first dose. That's the Moderna. Oh shit, there's a joke on Facebook. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen hobos getting vaccinated about like 4 times a week. I'm just like, fuck, that's harsh. And that's the end of the top 10. And that's the end of the podcast because this is fucking long. It's already at 44 minutes. I guess that's not bad. 45 minutes. Check out my last podcast for. Oh shit, my lady was calling me. Check out my podcast for my last ones to hear about SAS news. My last podcast, which is number 4, has my schedule for May in terms of reviews and unboxing. And shout out to my boy Bardock, who opened up a new YouTube channel. Hopefully you grow. I guess I have a competitor now. Kudos to you, man. Hopefully, if I end up losing the battle, then it is what it is. That means you're just better than me. GG, man. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video or podcast. Good night.